Hello everyone, today I'm going to reveal the truth about recovery drinks and hydration. Stay tuned. Hi everyone, this is Jazz here at Jazz OCR Athlete, and of course you can find me at Nutrition101 by Charles on Instagram and on Facebook and of course YouTube. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to cover the truth about hydration drinks and recovery drinks and electrolytes and everything that kind of falls into that category. So today I was running today in track. So it's hot, right? I'm in North Carolina. It's like 90 something degrees outside, sunny. So hydration is more important than ever. Pre-workout and post-workout, obviously. So there was a company there called Bana. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that. And they were just kind of, promoting these guys. I never heard of them. And it's a pretty good drink. It's pretty tasty. And it just got me thinking that I need to actually make a video and talk to you guys a little bit about what we're putting in our bodies and, the misconceptions about hydration drinks and electrolytes and the truth that goes behind it. Because there are a lot of products out there on the market that claim to be like a great recovery drink or great for electrolytes when really just they're not. They're low quality, or they're just not enough electrolytes, which is probably more of the problem. It's not enough of what we really need, okay? Now, this being one of them. So this says serious rehydration, okay? Now, if you look here on this label, I'm not sure if you can see it, okay? It's got about 800 milligrams of sodium, okay? And 200 milligrams of potassium, okay? So that's sort of where the problem lies, right? Because we need much more potassium than we need sodium, okay? Because sodium, yes, helps us retain water and helps. It's an electrolyte, a very important one to have, right? But it's not the most important one in this particular case because it's going to take a lot for the average person or even just me today to really burn off or use 800 milligrams of sodium, right? I probably did today because I'm pushing really hard. Today was a tough workout. But how's that sodium going to now move through the body without potassium? So the ratio that we're supposed to have is basically like 2 or 3 to 1 potassium to sodium, right? So that's a big deal. Here, it's like a 3 to 1 sodium over potassium, right? So it's the opposite. And that's a problem because, like I said, the average person's getting more than enough salt, right? We only need about 2,300 milligrams a day. That's a teaspoon of salt. We get that every day, more than that a day. Eat a handful of potato chips, right? You get it in soup. You get it in just whatever you're eating a day, you're getting sodium, right? And so we never have a problem getting that. However, we do have a problem getting potassium. That's the bigger problem, right? Because we need 4,700 milligrams of potassium a day. And endurance athletes or people who are just working outdoors, or if you're taking running classes, or if you're an elite athlete, or you're pushing yourself hard, right? We're going to burn through potassium quicker. And if you have a high carb diet, like I think the average American does, even the ones who are training out there in the track or in the gym, have a high carb diet, which is one of the biggest problems because that depletes potassium, right? And when we don't have enough potassium, sodium becomes a problem. That's the only time when high blood pressure becomes a problem. So you have a high carb diet, you have a high sodium diet because you think you're recovering and hydrating, and you don't have enough potassium to help the water, to help the sodium move through the body, in and out of the cells. So we need more potassium. So here, great drink, tasty, no artificial ingredients. Kind of like it, but it's a pretty excessive amount of sodium. And I talked to the guys, and I was like, hey, if you talk to the guys that make this, who's a doctor, and the doctor is clearly not an endurance athlete, right? He told those guys that, well, the body has potassium in it already, so we don't need to add more potassium. Clearly, he doesn't know enough about this side of it, right? Biology, nutrition, right? Food science, because that's what I know, and I can tell you with certainty that the ratio in this bottle is excessively imbalanced, right? And that goes for a lot of drinks today, right? So this is a good drink. I'd use it, and today it actually, after I was done today, I drank it and I felt pretty good, right? So I'm not opposed to this drink, but you're gonna have to make sure you get potassium in your body some other way. And I told them, I said, if you add 400 more milligrams of potassium into this drink, this would be a fantastic drink. Okay, so what other options are out there? What other options can we have that kind of gives us that balance? Well, first, one natural one is coconut water. Okay, any old coconut water will do. This I just happened to get this one from Lidl. That's like their brand. Okay, now if you look at the label here, okay, this for a bottle, which is 16 ounces, right? You're gonna get 980 milligrams of potassium, which is awesome, right? And you're gonna get two grams of added sugars. That's another problem, right? Are we looking for sugars? Definitely not. That's the first thing I look for when I open up this bottle is what is sweetening this, right? And stevia is sweetening this. So that A+ for this, for not using that. So this has, for the bottle, this has 150 milligrams of sodium. So the ratio here is right on target for what it should be. This is an awesome way to get exactly what you need in electrolytes. Much more potassium than sodium. Your body is going to feel much, much better because, when you're racing, sometimes I've done it before. I've taken mustard packet, soy sauce, pickle juice. Everyone has their thing. They think it's the thing and the only way to do it. There's a lot of ways to do it. Salt pills, little squeezed juice packs with sodium. But you're going to have to drink water with that, right? Lots of water. And you're going to need potassium to kind of follow along with it. So you're going to have to bring potassium tablets and pills, which is what I do. But I think the average person, they don't know to bring potassium because when you're cramping out there, sodium is not the issue. It's potassium. We need potassium because that helps relax the muscles. That helps sodium move through the body. And it's one of the most important electrolytes we need for endurance events. If you don't believe me, give it a try. Ask around. Do your own research. It's out there. It's not just me, Charles Vasallo, nutritionist, opinion. This is fact and biology. It's just that it's not as marketed as what people think for as a hydration drink, which has a lot of sodium, right? Another problem we have is a lot of carbs, right? Like Gatorade, right? It's probably the worst of the worst, right? The worst hydration drink out there, which, I think there's 70 milligrams of potassium and I think 230 milligrams of sodium and I think around 30 grams of sugar, right? Added sugar, right? So that's another thing too. How much of that sugar is added sugar? And Gatorade has a lot of it. So Gatorade is the worst of the worst. It's not really good. It's just glorified juice. So if that's something you drink, I would definitely switch. It's not really a very efficient way to get any kind of hydration at all. Definitely not enough electrolytes, right? We need more. We need magnesium. We need phosphorus. We need calcium. All those electrolytes are important, and they're great things to have in a hydration drink or electrolyte drink or powder, right? I use this one powder right here. This is one by Dr. Berg. Love that guy and love this product. It's really, really good. I recommend it to anyone. I've probably turned so many people onto this. Too bad this guy doesn't know that because maybe he'd let me be like a sponsor for that, and I don't make any money by showing my clients this and putting it out there on videos. But if he did, maybe he'd hook me up because it's pretty expensive, but it's 100% worth it. And I use it every single day in the summer and more than that in warmer states like North Carolina. Okay, moving on. We have Body Armor, right? So Body Armor Light is actually pretty decent. They kind of got it right? Their potassium to sodium ratio is sort of kind of where you need it to be, right? So this bottle is the light, so much less added sugars. Okay, their added sugars is 0, and this one its total carbohydrates are 23. So a lot of that is just from natural sources. It's only 3 grams of sugar, not 0 from added sugars. Okay, 880 milligrams of potassium, right? That's sick. That's exactly what we want, right? They do put some coconut water in here too, but I think that's just a selling point. That's not really why I buy this. I'll just drink good old coconut water if I just want coconut water, right? And their sodium is 50 milligrams. Okay, that's it. That's really all we need for the average person. We're good, right? Because you got your sodium prior, right? If you, especially if you're not the best eater, you're getting enough sodium in a day. You definitely are. The most average person is. Like I said, we need a teaspoon a day total for the body in a day. A little bit more when we're active during an endurance event. That lasts some good amount of time, hours. Yeah, we're going to need, to re-up our sodium, but we're also going to really need to re-up our potassium. So Body Armor regular, without being a light, also still has a lot of potassium. I think they have around 700 something milligrams of potassium and around the same sodium, right? It's kind of low, 50 to 70, which is great. So Body Armor is a good option. It's a better, much better than Gatorade. So that's just what you need to know. But there's a lot of products coming out there, a lot of new ones coming out there, and just kind of look for these things. We don't want artificial sweeteners. We don't want artificial colors, which Gatorade also has. I think most of the ingredients in Gatorade are kind of crappy overall in general. It was a great drink back in the day when it first came out, right? When you got hot and exhausted and, felt lightheaded and you just, you're losing a lot of fluids, drink some Gatorade, it felt great, right? It works when you need it. But overall, again, it's glorified juice, not the best thing out there, right? So I would say stay away from Gatorade. Go to Body Armor if you really need something. Go Body Armor Light. New one out there by the Paul brothers, Prime. Pretty good, man. Pretty sweet. Nice little idea they have there. They do use artificial sweeteners. That's the one bad thing, a problem I have with it. If you see the label here. Okay, and they have a pretty good ratio here. They have 700 milligrams of potassium, which is fantastic, and 10 milligrams of sodium. Again, perfect. That's kind of where we need to be, right? Doesn't taste like salt water like this one. That turns a lot of people off. Doesn't really bother me. Shouldn't bother you if you're training for something and you really want something, and you just can't drink it because you don't like the taste. You know what? That tells me you just kind of want it. You don't really want it. You just kind of want it, right? Because you're not doing what it takes to get it, right? You're not eating what it takes to get it, right? I'll eat before a race. I'll eat an avocado right out of the shell, some kiwis with the skin, because you know what? It's practical. It's easy. It's going to give me the nutrients I need to get through that event, and I don't care how hard it is to take down. I'm just going to do it anyway. Apple cider vinegar, perfect example. I don't love it, ever love it. I never get used to it. But you put it in your water, drink it. Disgusting no matter what, but you drink it, right? Because it's the right thing to do, right? So you learn to love what you eat and drink. Don't just eat what you, eat what you love and drink, right? You got to learn to love what you eat and drink, okay? So you got to make the right food choices. So this has a lot of electrolytes in here, right? All the main good ones, right? And there's some other ones here too. You'll see some, on the food label. If you check them out, they're pretty good. Obviously no added sugars because they use sucralose, which is an artificial sugar. Basically, that's chlorinated sugar. It's bleached sugar. It breaks down the molecules in a way that where the sugar does not affect your blood sugars. But it's derived from sugar originally. So that's the thing about that. They also put coconut water in here as well. So Prime's pretty decent. Again, look for that potassium to sodium ratio. As good as this was, it's excessive. Some of the ones like Liquid IV, things like that, right? High sodium, low potassium, and I see a lot of things out there that have potassium, but it's usually just kind of on the low number, like Gatorade, like 70 or 100 or 200. This happens to have 200, right? But not a good ratio. So I won't find this to be the best in that particular case, especially not for the average person. Maybe an elite athlete, you're pushing real hard and you're losing a lot of that sodium and sweating. This could work, right? Banner. I'm only just pointing this one out because I picked this up today. I'll still drink it again. I grabbed another bottle with those guys when I really need it. But overall, I had to point that out because if that doctor, right, that made this adds more potassium to this, maybe as low as the sodium, I think this would be a fantastic drink. So overall, I kind of just really wanted to explain that to you and just let you know. Now there are deeper levels to this that you can get to with potassium and sodium, with like the potassium sodium pump in our cells, and that just puts potassium in while the sodium goes out, and this allows again the sodium to kind of move throughout the body and do its thing, right? So we don't need to get into that, but it's all part of a very special, very efficient system, the pump and ATP and energy and all things like that. But just trust me when I'm saying, look it up. We need potassium, much, much, much more potassium in our energy drinks, in our hydration drinks, in our electrolyte powders or whatever it is. And it's going to change your life. Even if you're fasting, which I work out mostly on an empty stomach, even running today, when I do my conditioning pieces in the morning, empty stomach every single time. Once in a while, I'll eat maybe some kiwis, a banana, kind of light sunflower seeds, maybe even a handful of chips just to get some salt and a little bit of potassium. But that's really all it is. Otherwise, my stomach's gonna be pretty empty, and I'm fine every time. And if you're not acclimated to fasting, then and you get sluggish, it's not because you didn't eat. It's because you don't have enough electrolytes because you're not actively and strategically getting them into your system, right? Maybe you're just drinking water, but that's not going to help. That's one part of electrolytes. That's only one part of hydration, right? And if you keep drinking water and you're not getting electrolytes, you're going to flush out your electrolytes that you do have, right? Because we do have them in our body, but we just need to keep them replenished. So we want to get water, we want to get sodium, we want to get potassium, right? Those are three main things you're going to need for proper hydration. So start looking at labels, strategically, approach how you're going to feed your body before and after your endurance events, or even just working out. And if you're someone that sweats a lot, right? I don't really sweat a whole lot unless in this kind of weather. But you might be someone that sweats just taking a shower. Or you might be someone that sweats just taking a walk in this weather, right? I'm fine with walking in this weather. I'll never sweat. Once I start moving and grooving, that's when things start leaking for me. Otherwise, my body doesn't heat up that easily. So check it out. Let me know what you think about this video, and I want to try to dig in a little bit deeper about some of these products and ingredients that really matter, because especially as we get older, ingredients really start to matter, right, for overall health. Share this information. Make sure you give me a thumbs up, like it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If there's something you want me to talk about, you want to hear, please leave a comment below. You can email me, of course. All right. My name is Charles Vassallo, Jazz OCR athlete here at Nutrition 101 by Charles and Jazz OCR athlete. See you next episode.